Tell you what, we're hitting all the fields at the moment, aren't we? Welcome to Mudgee, rural and regional New South Wales, for the Mudgee Classic weekend. Guys, what's this hard stuff underneath me? What's all this tyre pressure? Alright, I'll lay off the gravel stuff for a bit. So just a bit of housekeeping. This is obviously not the vlog many of you probably thought it would be, with Warnie going on this weekend. Two reasons. First one, as you guys know, hard to make our team. I've kind of tried to be honest with that, and for me at the moment, that's hard to get into that 7, which is awesome. The other is obviously Warnie was rescheduled to the same weekend as this. And yeah, some of our major sponsors like Athelets Gel, this is a big event for them. And it's really important for us to be here. So that's the housekeeping. What are we up to? Oh dear. Ooh. What are we up to? Well, Mudgee Classic basically, which is yeah, really awesome little Fondo that's just started out here in Mudgee, part of the sort of classic series with Barrel and the rest of them. So I'm down here doing that, but I thought what might be interesting, guys, is it's a question that coaches get a lot around, you know, people wanting to do these events, and like, which ones should they do? Like, because, you know, a lot of these events have a small, medium, and a large event. And I thought, well, I'm doing the large tomorrow. Why don't I ride the medium today, gauge the difference, maybe we can have a bit of a chat about it. Or I basically had the morning and thought the weather's like this, stuff up, let's go for a bike ride, which is probably more of a reality. So today's ride then is the Mudgee Classic Challenge, which essentially is a road out to Rylstone through a town called Lue, and at the end of the out and back, or the top end, is a little loop. Apart from it being just a beautiful place to ride a bike, in terms of the course specific, it's a lot of this. It's a lot of these rollers. Classic New South Wales cycling country open rides. There you go, there's another one. Look, just over that one, and we'll come up to another one. Being an out and back, look, I'll be honest, it's probably not the most sort of creative thing. In terms of it being at the medium level though, clearly good, because it does give you the option of the bailout, though a nice cycling vlogger would say, you know, oh, it's good, it gives you bailout options, it's all nice and happy and pretty. Nah, that's soft. If you're down here to test yourself, there's no bailout options. You get it done. You get it done. Or you pull your pedal out and whinge and complain and go home early. I don't know who'd do that. So I'm just out on the little loop part at the top of Rylstone now. And the guys warned me, yeah, the road's pretty rough. And I was like, mate, I ride gravel now, you know. Rough roads, all that, I can do it. It's rough roads. It's that really, it's chip and seal, but it's got a lot of this sort of cracking in it. And it just hits you, do you know what I mean? So, this kind of thing, there's not much you can do about it. Like, look at this. It's just gonna, it's testing the Ultra Boost stabilization here, but look, it's rough, you know. I'm running 60 PSI, 25mm tires. It helps. It's still rough. Couldn't help myself. Pulled in at Rylstone on the way back just for a quick coffee. And yeah, nice little catch up with some people there, which is kind of nice.
No, I live on the coast, over at a little place called Warrnambool on the south of Lake Macquarie.
Yep, the intermediate level kind of ride. And it's interesting because he's doing it, right? And I was asking him, like, does the out and back thing bother him? He said, nah, I don't give a crap. He's all about the experience. And that's, you do forget that a lot of the time with these is, you know, I think I get kind of caught up a little bit in the, oh, what's the route like? What's the challenging parts? It's the experience around it that I think most people get the big value out of, you know. The big event village, and that's where he's going to go now, and just the riding with all those people, the safety of it, he loves that aspect to it. And the day before, coming down, checking out record stores and all that kind of stuff. So get myself back, and hopefully we can catch the start of Warnie on Facebook. It's funny, like dressing for these days is so hard. It was like 6 degrees when I left, and it's like 18 now. My pockets are exploding. Just after 12, so the live stream of Warnie will have just started, and my phone is friggin' blowing up. So I'm desperate to get back, see how everyone's getting on.
It's 20 minutes to the start of the Melbourne Warrnambool, and our goal is to get on the podium. So let's check back in 7 hours and see if we did it.
I think it went well. Like, the way the race panned out probably wasn't in our favour. You know, it wasn't very selective at the end. It was a pretty big bunch that came together, and there was a little split that went off the front. Just right at the end, we had Cooper in it. It would be nice to have a couple more, but we were represented at the front all day.
Finished 6 minutes behind the 7 minutes behind the bunch.
Yeah.
Cramped up with 15k to go. Just didn't have enough water in the last hour and a half. A really good day out. A long sand. We rode really well all day. Covered everything. Could have had the longest line in the last move, but that's racing.
I'm just gutted for the boys on that one. Like, not that they did a bad ride, they did an amazing ride, but they were just so active and so aggressive. You really kind of want that to pay off. But anyway, hopefully some of that came across with what the guys were saying. Now, I realised we haven't done this for ages, and I thought, look, I've got an hour while I'm here. I've started riding a few other bits and pieces on the bike lately, haven't I, that I haven't really shared with you why I'm doing it. And the first one I want to quickly mention was a two-part thing on the shoes. Now, it wasn't that long ago that I was saying that I'm going to be wearing like lacing shoes for ages and it's the best thing ever and I love them. The next thing you know, I'm wearing the Pro Team shoes with dial-ups on them. After the Peaks extravaganza with the pedal coming off, I had a bit more of a look into it, and obviously the width of the toe box coupled with the width of the additional shoe coverage, you know, that's where the rubbing happened that eventually that pedal came off. So I had to look back into the Pro Team shoe and went, okay, well that's a little bit narrow in the toe box. So if I am wearing big winter shoe covers and that kind of thing, then there's going to be more space between that and the Asingama pedal. So that's the first reason I went back to here. Now, one of the main reasons I changed from this shoe originally was I got the wrong size, but that's a whole other issue. I'm running a 43 here, running a 43. I didn't like the way that my inner sole worked in this shoe. Now, I tried to get in contact with the Cobra 9 guys and I wasn't getting any feedback. So what I did is, pull this out, I have gone and got the Retuel footbed. So I've done that through a bike shop here in Sydney. Well, I'm in Mudgee currently, but you know what I mean. And it's very different because it is look at that. It's a much higher footbed. The other bit of kit you probably seen me running recently are these. The Oakley Sutro lights. Now, I'm going to do something specifically on this because these are custom, okay? Now, that was one of the things that I wanted to do here, is do a vlog that talked about the custom process, because there's a lot of products now that are starting to offer this custom your own gear thing. And I want to look into that because I think that's a really interesting space. I want to talk about the process in this, the value of it, and all that kind of stuff. I'll do that in an upcoming vlog. For now, I'm just going to ride them, and then we'll talk to you about the performance of them. But there we go. So 2 bits of kit that have changed on me on the bike recently, why I'm doing it, thoughts on it so far, etc, 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 etc. Bikes.
Good morning. Geez, we lucked out with the weather, guys. It's absolutely perfect. My God, I can't believe this is May in Mudgee. It should be like -4. Just gonna quickly get the bike off the roof. We're gonna head to the start line and yeah, get this on. We've got 30 minutes to kick off and yeah, get into it. So welcome to the beautiful Bowlong Valley, which is essentially where the majority of the Mudgee Classic, the Epic, the 170 version, takes place. Whilst the scenery is absolutely beautiful, there's not really a lot of pinch points for the first 100 Ks, except for really this kind of bumpy descent around the 34K mark, which was really, really well marshalled, I have to say, by the Mudgee Classic crowd, and also by the riders themselves, who handled it pretty safely, actually. So the first 100 Ks was very much a tap and chat. It gave me a great chance to chat to some of the people doing the ride, but some metrics for you. My average heart rate for the first 100 Ks, 96 beats per minute. Kind of chilled. That all changed around 104 Ks when we had the first of 2 KOMs. This is a really solid climb, actually. It was a 4K climb up the gap. I don't know if you guys find this, but I find it very, very difficult, quite strange to start a hard effort after almost such a long period of downtime. It's almost sometimes nicer having a few squeezes running into it. So as you can kind of see here, I've started the climb and I'm a little bit of the way back and just sort of gauging sort of what's going to happen here. Is anyone going to take it up? And as it seems, someone does take it up. So we get to have some fun on this climb, and I thought we might play some of this out. So we're less than a minute into the climb, and I've kind of got my eye on around sort of a 15, 16, 17 minute climb. So you can kind of tell that it's not really a place where you want to blast yourself too soon. That said, having a quick look at the Strava profile of this climb, it looked like the bottom and the top were the two steep parts. The middle was kind of going to be the plateauy bit. So my kind of head was go hard at the bottom, go hard at the top, and just sort of, maintain a tempo in the middle. It didn't actually quite play out that way, but as you'll see. So we're going to come up to this guy here who got a big gap right on the very bottom of the climb. That's a huge gap in essentially the first 2 minutes. So hopefully this guy can hang on and do a pretty good climb for himself. 2 things you got to know about this part of the world: no coal and sandstone escarpments. Definitely 2 things you see a lot of around here. But you can sort of tell, I don't know, there's hopefully some viewers from overseas. That's real classic New South Wales, Sydney sandstone stuff sitting up there. Really, really picturesque, actually. The middle section of this climb I actually found really awkward from the sense gearing wise. So it was right between switching into the big ring, which I did a couple of times, and sort of being quite low down the block on the little ring.
I find that a really awkward place to actually get power out as well. I'd much prefer it to be super, super steep or, you know, fully flat. Now, Strava, I'm going to blame Strava for this one because it clearly shows on Strava that there's like these pinches of 11, 12, 13% in the final kilometre. So I've seen that little 1k to go mark and I've sort of knocked it back again because I'm thinking, okay, you know, you're going to get these big steep pitches coming up here, Chris. So here comes some big ramps up ahead, right? But you lied to me, Strava. It's 5%. This is not 11%. So this is the classic sort of cyclist excuse of, I had kept heaps back, you know, I could have gone so much harder. But anyway, no, look, solid climb. And I think, what was it, around 15, 16 minutes, something like that. You know, that's a test. That's a real solid test.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you, boss. We're just here. I don't know.
I've taken the lid off it.
Yo, nice work. All right, we're crested the climb. Let's get home.
So after a little water bottle fill up at the top, we had a nice little group of 4 or 5. It was larger at points for the 70k's run home. Really, really fast run home, I have to say. It just seemed to grade downhill for long periods of time, and in the rollers you're able to keep speed up over them. So you can kind of see those rough surfaces there. And the last 40k's, you actually mingle back in with the guys who were doing the challenge course. So I kind of like that as well. I mean, it's all kind of spread out at this point. It's 1s and 2s, groups of, 6s and 7s. We still had this nice little group that was working around, and you can kind of going past people and they're sort of jumping on you. It's a nice sort of way to finish these things up. I did another little effort up the final KOM, which I think was around 134. It was 2 sort of pinches rather than a consistent climb, a real kind of classic New South Wales cycling kind of pinch. And over the top of it, I thought I'd sort of roll on for a while. So threw it in the big ring and drove on as far as I could by myself for a bit. The boys I was with earlier on got across to me probably with about 10-15 Ks to go. They'd sort of ridden really well. One guy in particular, a big fella, I'm sure I'll pop his name down below, that guy just back there. He was super, super strong. So these boys had got back across to me and we rode really hard into the end, actually.
Great ride, guys. Chill. Well done. Good ride, mate. Very good.
And what these events do really well is you tend to finish right at the event's village. So you kind of roll in here through the Mudgee Classic blow-up awning, and a clown in a fluorescent pair of pants high-fives you.
Tell you what, kids, that was, it was solid. It was really solid. It's a challenging course, but I think it's definitely one of those courses where you almost make it as hard as you want it to be. Like, you can go on the front and ride hard turns that you can sit on, and it's quite easy. So yeah, it's an interesting one, actually. I think it's quite accessible. I think that would be my takeaway from that. Very accessible.
So this is how we do pieces to camera. I just wanted to quickly say, so the people who ask us a little bit about the Athelets gel stuff, we use it in 2 specific situations. The first one is I use it in the lower back before longer rides, because I find it kicks into gear after about 2 or 3 hours and you start to get that activation, and that's kind of the time when you would normally get the kind of pains in that area. So that's where I find it really useful, and it's quite hard to describe the sensation, but it's really quite a pain relieving sensation. The other is more of a recovery thing. So the guys will tend to use this. We take it on tour before they have a shower, actually. Before they have a shower after a stage, and then have the shower, which activates it. And then for the rest of the day, they've got this like really nice relieving, muscle relieving situation on their legs and lower back.
You guys, and I enjoy watching your vlogs. Yeah, like lying.
Note, any event organisers, a shower literally there from the event village, massive win. That is awesome. That's like
I'll stay here now. Like, I hate lingering around in kit, you know? Really good hard bike ride. Savage little CD. Savage little event village. Great chat. So many nice people. Oh man. No, I loved it. Be back next year, 100%. Guys, get your entries in now. Enter in now. Pre-sale. Early bird. Duck entries. I don't even know what I'm talking about. Go ahead and whack that like button for us, guys, and please do subscribe to the channel. We've got heaps coming up. We've got some racing stuff, some product stuff, and just a lot of, well, adventure vlogs. We've really planned a few of those. We're really catching up on 2020. So do hit the like button. It helps us out massively. We will see you very, very soon.